Friends, knowledge prospers all of us, and in our noble mission to share knowledge, let's begin. Today we are going to discuss another misconduct, and that misconduct is going on an illegal strike, abetting, inciting or instigating or acting in furtherance thereof. Now there are three elements to this misconduct. First and foremost, the first element is going on an illegal strike, and I'm going to comment upon all of them, though the thrust would be on instigation. Now friends, what does it mean by instigation itself? Instigation means the dictionary meaning of instigation is to cause an event or a situation to happen by making out a set of actions. It is but because of certain actions you abet or instigate. Now what is exactly instigation? Instigation is spelled out in other laws also. Say for example, Indian Penal Code. Section 107 of the Indian Penal Code defines as to what is instigation. And in strikes we see there are so many workers, and then some of the workers take up a very active part in the strike. Some of them are not so active. So there are active strikers and there are passive strikers. And in some judgments, it's also mentioned that some are active strikers and the rest are dumb driven cattle. Now, if you see the leader, he just gives a cry or he just gives a call of a strike. Some actively participate in it and some just go away with the flow. They are not really bothered about it. So they are passive strikers, or as I just mentioned, they are just dumb driven cattle. Now the point is on the illegality of it. Question is, what is a strike itself? Friends, you are aware strike is defined in section 2Q of the Industrial Disputes Act. A general definition, I'm not going word to word, but a general definition is that in every strike there is a cessation of work by a body of people acting in combination or a concerted refusal under a common understanding. All these ingredients should be present so that there is a strike in the industry or there is a strike in the making. Now friends, what is an illegal strike? Again we refer to Industrial Disputes Act. Moreover, section 22 and 23 comment upon illegality of the strikes. Now what is that illegal strike? Illegal strike, say under section 22, we speak of public utility concerns, that there will be no strike within the first and foremost, there must be a notice for a strike. Notice should be of 6 weeks, and within 6 weeks there will be no strike. Once the notice is given, there will be no strike within 14 days of the notice also. And then there will be no strike earlier to the date mentioned. So the date of the strike is very, very important. And then further down, there will be no strike when during the pendency of a conciliation proceeding and 7 days thereafter. Under section 23, it speaks of general prohibition on strikes and lockouts. Now friends, what is general prohibition? Here the thrust is totally on the pendency. There will be no strike during the pendency of any proceeding before the conciliation officer and 7 days thereafter. Same is the case when a proceeding is pending before a labor court or the industrial court or a national tribunal and 2 months thereafter. And the third is that, say there is a settlement with the union, the settlement is in operation. So there will be no strike with respect to the matters which are covered. Of course, this video is not to describe all illegal strikes and this and that. We are today only on the point of what is instigation and how it amounts to a misconduct. Instigation, there are other synonyms also. That is abetting, inciting, instigating. In simple words, it is encouraging. And in common parlance also, we always say you are adding fuel to the fire. This adding fuel to the fire is nothing but instigation. Now you see section 107 of the Indian Penal Code, I did make a mention. It says that whoever instigates, then what? Who engages in instigation of a conspiracy. And the third is that who intentionally abets. I told you, inciting, instigation. For our purpose, let's not go by the standards mentioned in the Indian Penal Code, but for our purpose, they can be taken up as synonyms, adding fuel to the fire. But however, it's not all that simple also, friends. Examples of instigation, courts have held time and again that there must be some tangible evidence. It's very simple to say that he instigated and he was present, so he has also instigated. No, there must be some tangible evidence of instigation. Now, what could that be? What could be tangible evidence? It could be the throwing of a finger. Yes, the union leader points out, come on, go and let's proceed on a strike, stop work, all of this. This could be, or it could also be the wink of an eye. The union leader being in a position, he or his cadre or whoever or the office bearer, he just winks at them that come on, proceed on a strike. It could be by way of a signal also. It can be any provocative speech. It can be taking out names as far as management is concerned. And then you provoke it also. Remember one thing, there is no straitjacket formula. There is no 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 formula for what can constitute instigation. That will certainly depend upon time, place, circumstance and all the circumstances. Circumstances could be different. So what could be an instigation is to be seen in the light of those circumstances. And that's what I said. There cannot be a blanket statement that this amounts to instigation and this does not amount to instigation. Now you see, we are always guided by time and again by what Honorable Supreme Court or what the various High Courts say. And say for example in Rajasthan ITC versus Industrial Tribunal, it was held that mere asking the workers to go on a strike without any forced violence is not instigation itself. There must be, that's what I said, there must be some tangible evidence on the part of whoever is accused of instigation so as to say that yes, he has instigated the workers to go on an illegal strike, or he has abetted, or he has incited, or he has instigated the furtherance of the illegal strike. Then say for example in another case in Dalmia Cement versus Murari Bikaneria, there is a very landmark sort of an authority wherein the court held that whoever instigates should himself be in a responsible position. And in this case, there was a union leader. And then the courts further went and said that resorting to violence cannot be, he asked the workers to resort to a violence. And the court said that he cannot be said to be a disinterested onlooker. He is just not a mute spectator. You have instigated. And then, say for example, he blows a whistle and that is the signal for the workers to go on a strike at the instance and leads to the stoppage of work in a factory. Yes, that is an instance of instigation. And say in NLRB versus India Desk Company, it's made very clear in the judgment as to what is instigation. Instigation is equal to, in a way, not more than asking to do a particular act. He should also hold the position of an influence, and that's what I said, a union leader, an office bearer, president of the union, general secretary. He holds a position of some authority. So he can influence the workers. So this influencing of the workers is very, very important, so as to accuse him of instigation, because you are ultimately going to accuse him of instigation. Further down, you may hold a departmental inquiry and then you may dismiss him, terminate him or do whatever. And then in one more case, Aditya Mills versus Ramdaya. Aditya Mills, what happened is everybody was shouting and then it became very difficult, and the court said that if all are shouting, there is a difficulty in understanding as to who is the real instigator and who is really inciting in the chorus. Many a times you and me, friends, have been students in school and college, and in college, say, there are passing remarks which are made by a bunch of students, and the professors say it's very difficult for him that you pin the blame on somebody that you did it, because everybody is in the chorus. Same thing happens here. If same thing is happening here, it's very difficult to find out as to who really has incited in the chorus, and you cannot pin up the blame on anybody. This was the mandate in Aditya Mills versus Ramdaya. So see friends, what happens is we have to see instigating, abetting, inciting in the light of all of this, and section 27 of the Industrial Disputes Act cannot be forgotten, wherein it is said that he who instigates or acts in furtherance of an illegal strike, who instigates the workers to go on an illegal strike, will be punished by 6 months or fine which may extend to 1,000 rupees. So there is a penal provision also in the Industrial Disputes Act for instigation of an illegal strike. Okay friends, so this is it, and again in our journey of knowledge sharing, it's time to bid you a goodbye. Thank you so much friends.